I want to move to the gentleman, if you don't mind, because I when I first saw it, I binged it immediately. I think I watched the entire season in like 2 nights. I believe, yeah. It it
So I'm talking
it
to a
really
fan.
yeah. I am big fan of that show. Just walk me through this kind of process. How did you get involved? This is your first project with Guy Ritchie, is it?
Well, I did work with Guy Ritchie. It's a Guy Ritchie series. Guy Ritchie directed episode 1 and 2, and
Mm-hmm.
then other directors stepped in. And I did episode
Mm-hmm.
3 and 4 with Nima Nourizadeh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I haven't worked with Nima before, but when I was doing Gangs of London, he was doing the block before me. He did episode 5 and 6, and I did 7 and 8. So we came across each other. We when the show came out, we saw each other's work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I know Nima. Um, and the producer was the same producer from Gangs of London as well. So the
Mm-hmm.
producer knew me, the directors, we haven't worked together, but he knew me. He talked to Corin, the director, as well. So he knew what kind of person I was to work with. Um, why am I saying this? Because a lot of people have a lot of egos on set as head of departments. And I always say, like, ego, for me, egos are is always in the way. Leave it at home. It won't help.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big believer of good idea, better idea, the best idea, but ego will always block that in a way. So I keep
Right.
I deviate a little bit, but why am I saying this? Because the way I work is I like to include my crew. Like I do all my prep work, but once on set, if a crew member has a better idea, please speak up because the best idea wins. If it can comes from a trainee, from my
Yeah.
gaffer, from a spark, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
If it's better, I go to the director. I give that person credit, saying like that person thinks propose to do this. I think it's a better idea. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
And by doing
Mm-hmm.
so, people get more validation of their work. They're more
Absolutely.
in part of the creative process, and
Yeah.
they get challenged. They get the opportunity to get challenged and propose things. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it helps everybody moving forward to a better script or to a better project. I'm not a big fan of like no. You know what? I'm a DP. Let me do those goals. It's like
Right.
I don't like that ego attitude, which a lot of people are doing that, and me
Mm.
again. There's no right or wrong, but it's not the way I like to work with people. And for this show, when I came in, I think the complicated situation on a lot of TV shows right now in the UK is that a lot of projects got green lit by a streamer platform, whatever, early on. And there's only like
Mm.
one episode 1 and 2, and all the rest is not even written. So they are already in production for 1 and 2. And meanwhile, you have the writers, showrunners writing the other episodes. So you're always behind on everything. And
Mm.
that was on The Gentleman also. I think that that's the biggest challenge would be that is that things kept changing all the time. We built hallways and we built our own lights. And then the next day, when everything is built and ready to shoot, next day they say, okay, we crossbar this, we crossbar that, and then all of that
Mm.
money is lost in a way. And I mean, that's the way it works, but it makes it more expensive at the end, I would say. But I mean,
Yeah.
it ended up in a great show, so it did work.
Mm.
But it makes it harder in prep because you don't know where it's going and everything keeps changing. We were
Mm.
shooting a scene episode 4 after the explosion um, in I'm not sure I'm gonna spoil too much, but when it goes to the private collection
Oh yeah.
part, and then
Some
there's
maybe.
the
Yeah. Maybe.
man,
Mm-hmm.
you have the big fight, and then in the end he steps out, and the guy has a knife sticking out his chest. So we shot
Right.
that first. We shot the post action part first. So we had to decide like how they're gonna look makeup wise, where we're gonna put the dagger, all of that. And we shot that, went to sleep. Next morning, new script pages, no knife, gunshot. We're gonna reshoot now. And it's like, no, it's fine. We're gonna Photoshop it away, and then 2 days later, script
For
change again,
really?
knife again. I was like, that becomes a
Wow.
challenge.
Mm,
And like the 2 last weeks, the call sheet every day, the call sheet, and you look at it, it's like, yeah, that's we won't make that call sheet. It's too much. We had too much to shoot on the day anyway. So
mm,
those were the biggest challenges for us on the show, I would say. In
mm.
the end, you make it
When
work.
you
Obviously, you make it work. But
yeah.
just if you do a feature film, everything is set, and obviously there's some script changes, but they're minimal in a way. But
Mm.
here it's like, yes, I don't mind taking the bunny out of the hat and do a magic trick. But there, it was requested every day at least twice. It's like, guys, I'm not sure how many rabbits I have.
Oh my god, that's funny. Oh my so is that, like, normal on TV shows now? Is things change so quickly?
Yes, yes.
Like, daily?
Well, on that show, yes, previous show as well, and friends of mine experience the
Mm,
same thing. So it's
same
more
thing?
and more. Yeah, I'm not saying it's
Mm,
everything every time. Like those are the challenges right now,
mm,
and yes, it becomes more expensive because you keep changing stuff at the end.
yeah.
Um,
When you got this show and you got involved in it, I guess what I'm curious about is like the show itself has like an element of class, like elegance because of the stature of these people and how they live. And I'm curious as to when you read the script, you understood that the storyline. How involved were you in the initial look of it? Like, how was the collaboration process in trying to make it look like of that class and elegant and um, like where was that pre-production with you and, like, the showrunners? How involved were you in the initial look creation?
well, there's several answers to that. Just to be clear, I did not set up the look of the show. That's the work of Ed
Mhm,
Wild. Ed Wild, the cinematographer who did episode 1 and 2 together with Guy Ritchie. So they
mhm,
decide the look of the show, the way it's gonna be shot, which camera, which lenses, the way they want to light the actors. So
mhm,
they, in a way, they decide that look. I
absolutely.
think a lot of credit has to go to Lulu, the costume designer, because she did.
Mm,
I mean, for me, the star of the show is Lulu. She did an amazing job on all the costumes, and it helps you so much. And then obviously the locations looks insane. And once you have those two already, I mean, it becomes way easier to do your job as a cinematographer.
mm,
But you, I had a conversation with Ed. We went for drinks because I want to know, like, okay, if I gonna continue your look, I need to know what were your creative decisions and why, so we can support that line. So they were like some do's and don'ts of the look of the show. You maintain that,
mm,
but then in the end, you still have 90% of different locations. So you have some
right.
creative freedom in that
Mm.
as a cinematographer.
I
Um,
always wondered, like, because I hear other interviews of DPs coming in mid-show, having to kind of work within the looks that the original DP created. I always wondered, like, do you feel creatively fulfilled still, or is there like a limiting feeling?
oh no, it's a good thing you say that because that was my first when I was doing Gangs of London. I was doing the season's finale. I was like, I mean, how much creativity do I have? And then there was a conversation with my wife as well. It's like, yeah, but I mean, you can't even decide the look of the lenses in a way. You want to shoot
Mm,
anamorphic or spherical. You want to shoot hard or soft, contrast, and it all really plays a big part in the final look of the movie. But in a way, you still have so much creative freedom. At the same time, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. The great thing about the production that we had is like the director and the DP changes, but all the rest stays the
yeah.
same. So the same
Mm,
gaffer, same focus pull. So you can also rely on them. It's like, is this in the same style? Does this stick out too much? And then, for example, on the previous block, they, as a moon box, they created a massive tree-light construction with 20 vortex, and that was a moon
wow.
box. So when my gaffer told me, yeah, well, in the past we used a moon box with 20 vortexes on a frame, I was like, I haven't done that before, but If it works, it works. Let's
Okay.
let's do that. Let's play with that. Let's see what it does. Because I've seen a rough cut of 1 and 2. It looks amazing. So if that
Mm,
works, well, we use that. I don't want to reinvent stuff. I can put my time and effort in other things. And we
absolutely.
spend a lot of time because every day, um, we try to do as much as we can in prep, but at the same time, there is so much to do, so many changes that you can't really storyboard everything. And Nima,
Mm,
director, want to have a shot list of every single scene before we go to shoot. So once we finish our day, we drove together. We went to a pub and we put the iPads and the pen and paper on the table and we start shot listing everything again for the next day. And we did that
wow.
for, I don't know, 30 or 40 days away the amount of time we shot. Every single day we went to, we had to eat anyway. So we went to a pub and then we were working, working, working. And like we went over the day, like that worked well, that works, that didn't work. We had problems with this. How can we solve that? We need to talk to those departments, and you want to smooth out everything as much as you can. I feel like a cinematographer, you are also delegating a lot of departments, and a lot
Mhm,
of people come with problems that are not really your problems, but it's your crew. So you're going to help them solve things. And with other departments as well, like again, this went wrong there, but try to understand that perspective of that person. It needs to be as smooth sailing as humanly possible.